Hey, botany peeps! Here's a little update on how things are going in the greenhouse. Last time you guys were in here, bunch of buckets with nothing else going on, so I thought I'd give you a little update so you can see how things are growing. It is Friday, April 17. Let's see, well, for starters, that is a potato plant. They are doing great. So there's what our potatoes look like. We've got them filled up close to the top, called mounding with soil to give them more room to throw some potatoes out. And then we've got our green beans here. And you can see that they're flowering. There's a beautiful green bean flower. And after a day or two, they don't need any insects. They just somehow self-pollinate. And then where that flower was, you can see the little baby green bean is growing right there. How about that? Some of the leaves have sort of some brown speckles on them. I think that's from, they don't like water touching them when the sun is out. So when I was watering them, I think some of the leaves got scalded or burned by water on them. There's some green beans that are popping out there. We got some green beans coming out there. So we're going to have us a bunch of green beans. It's too bad you guys aren't going to be up here to eat them with me, but I guess that's the way this year's turning out. In this area, these are a bunch of trays that I'm using to start all kinds of gas station plants that we're going to try to grow over the summer and have botany kids transplant next year. So they've been outside in the cold weather and snow for the last 2 months, and now I brought them in to see if we could get the seeds to germinate. So pretty soon I might show you how I transplant those into a little bigger container. Here's some of the potatoes over here, and one thing that I hardly ever get to see with potatoes is this one is flowering. Let's go take a look at that. There is a potato flower. Now supposedly it makes some sort of a little tomato-like fruit. A little bit later, and you do not want to eat that. Supposedly it's got some nasty toxin in it, but right now they're flowering, and then probably in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, everything's going to start to die off naturally, and then that's when it's time to dig out the potatoes. So we'll see if we get a chance to show you that. Wow, this potato here is about ready to flower like crazy. So we've got quite a bit of potatoes going on the outside edge here. And we've got a whole lot more seeds that are germinating for the gas station plants. So we'll see how that turns out. The other things we planted, I put these fences up. We got some things planted that like to climb on fences. The first section here, these are the edible pea pods. So they're growing up on the fence. They've been on this, put them on here, and they grow about 6 inches a day sometimes when they're happy. So we'll see if we get some edible pea pods. And then, yeah, I put them on here about a week ago. And then in this area, a couple of pea pods, and then this crazy thing here is supposed to be some kind of a green bean that grows 5 feet long and is as thick as your thumb. We'll see if that ever turns out. It's just getting started. We got 2 of them there and 1 here. And then let's see. We got some more tropical beans that are supposed to be about 3 feet long. We're going to see if any of those ever produce. And then in this last section here, these are the red noodle beans that I talked about. And they love to grow up on the fence. And so we're going to see what happens in the next few weeks, see if they ever produce anything for us. Here's a closer look at some of the gas station plants. Probably have about 20 different kinds that I'm trying to grow from seed. So we'll see how those guys turn out. And the only other thing I haven't done that I wanted to do is I've got a whole set of these pea pods that I want to see if they will produce and grow outside on the fence out here. That guy's just been waiting to climb on that fence out there, but they say it's supposed to be 28 degrees overnight, and I don't want him to get killed off by the cold weather, so we're just waiting for the last blast of winter here tonight. It just snowed up in northern Missouri and Iowa. I saw pictures from my relatives that had 6 inches of snow up by Des Moines, so that's what we're waiting on. This is our one example of somebody that planted a potato in a bucket without any holes in it. We're going to see how that guy turns out. And I guess the last thing I was going to show you, I've been in here working a lot lately. These are all tropical milkweed. So they're only going to grow for 1 year. And I think I've got about 350 baby plants that I have transplanted, and hopefully we'll be putting those out in the outdoor classroom for gas station plants for monarchs. And they're only going to make it 1 year, so that's called an annual if you have to replant them every year annually. The opposite of that are the native milkweed. This guy here, I guess, is from Mexico or somewhere like that, so they're used to just always being warm weather. And then the other choice in the milkweed are all the native ones, and we tried to winter sow some of those guys. And if you look, there's our babies. There's a few baby milkweed. There's some babies. There's some babies. So we got quite a few of the perennial milkweed coming up. That means once we get them growing and planted, we don't have to replant them. They grow over and over again on their own. And so that's what we're going to try to plant in the outdoor classroom. So we got lots of transplanting work. Only other interesting thing I was going to show you in the greenhouse is we got a bit of a mystery here. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen this before, but for some reason all the potatoes in this bucket, they're not growing any leaves. They're all kind of weird, dwarf and wrinkly, so I'm curious what has made all of them in this bucket do that. If you can solve the mystery, then shoot me an email and tell me what you think's going on, because this is what they're supposed to look like. Happy and sassy and full of chlorophyll, but not that one. Something weird is going on. So we'll leave you with a mystery. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to see any living plants. with your botany experience. So I guess this is as close as I can get you, is look at what all our plants are doing that you guys planted. Peace out.